off the chat because I really appreciate everybody being so chipper today and telling us where you're zooming in from. David has to rub it in my face and said it's very much fall here in New York. Thank you, David. Appreciate that. I forget what it's like, so I'm gonna live vicariously through you, my friend. And we are gonna record today's session as long as everything gets approved. We'll make sure we post it in our Facebook group. So let me just get us started. First of all, my name is Melissa Street, zooming in from Dallas, Texas. You're going to learn and hear about Impact Health, but I just kind of want to rewind the clock of how my husband and I even came across Impact, because for many, many of you, this is your very first time learning about healthcare sharing. So my husband and I, we are self-employed contractors, 1099. I know many of you are in that same realm, right? And so when it came to healthcare, we didn't have an employer, we didn't have a generous boss providing free healthcare for us or contributing to healthcare. If we wanted healthcare, we knew we were 100% responsible covering that cost. And so for many years, my husband and I, we paid traditional health insurance. We had a small company. You probably don't know them, and I don't want to say their name just for the respect of their privacy, but their logo had a blue cross and a blue shield, and we were paying almost $1,000 a month just for the two of us. And praise God, we're healthy people, and so we really never used it unless it was for our annual wellness visit. But we were paying $1,000 a month in premium for just in case. I don't know if you know anybody like that. And so we thought that was the norm. And then a few years ago, somebody introduced us to healthcare sharing, specifically Impact. And the first thing they did was they gave us a quote, and all it took was the birth date of the oldest person in our household, which is my husband, and how many members in the household. And then they match our deductible, and our cost went from $1,000 a month to $364 a month. Now, I'm not a math genius, but from $1,000 a month to 364, that's a lot of money saved, right? That's almost $8,000 a year back into our family's pocket for a family of two. And so for us, we thought, well, what's wrong with it? I'm just going to be really honest. Our first response was, what's wrong with it? Why is it so less? I mean, is it one of those things where if you pay less, you get worse? Like, what's wrong with it? And so we personally took it as a mission to dissect Impact and really understand the how does it work and how is it so affordable. And once we realized the education and the information that we got and understanding Impact, is when we felt the burning fire within us to say, this needs to go out to the masses. And we have been Impact members for several years now. Thankfully, we haven't had a major incident, but it has been a huge saving grace for us financially also, because, I don't care how filthy rich and free you are, savings is savings. And the fact that we didn't have to spend that money elsewhere and be able to steward our finances well. But also, my mom is an Impact member. I mean, we have family members, we have friends, our neighbors are Impact members, and it's making such a difference in our community. And so I'm just grateful that you guys are here, that you're open-minded to learning about an alternative to healthcare. Impact is an alternative to healthcare. And today, we have the CEO of Impact Health. And I'm so grateful for his time, for his vision, for the let's take care of our brothers and sisters in their time of need concept, the fact that Impact is we welcome all creed, all race, all religion, be there for one another, no matter who you are. We all bleed the same color of blood. And so I love that he has that generosity in the community. And he's here with us, and he's going to talk about past, present, and future with Impact. So with that, help me welcome CEO of Impact Health, Mr. Phil Chrysler. Thank you so much for being here, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Melissa. What a thrill for me. What an honor to be on your call. I know you guys do this every week, and thank you for that good work that you're doing to educate and help and at the end of the day serve people, right? And let them know that there are options now. And as Melissa talked about, I do want to just take you on a real quick journey, past, present, and future, just so you understand how healthcare got here. First and foremost, you should understand that I think it's pretty cool that when the Affordable Care Act was passed, right, that healthcare sharing was architected into the Care Act. There is no other alternative to health insurance that is organized, architected, and has language around it in the Affordable Care Act other than healthcare sharing. So I think that speaks to the significance, seriousness, and credibility of healthcare sharing. And for those that you that study that sort of thing in the Affordable Care Act, you knew that at that time, if you didn't have health insurance, you had to pay an individual mandate tax penalty. So unless you were a member of a healthcare sharing organization, and so you've got a pass, if you excuse me, if you will, in that time period. And then the previous administration to Obama, the first Trump administration, actually reduced that tax penalty to zero. So became null and void. But for a period of time, there were, hundreds of thousands and millions looking at healthcare sharing for a variety of reasons. One of them certainly is trying to avoid that tax penalty and pay less, not more. And that's really what we're all about. I want to tell you briefly how healthcare sharing came to be so you can fully appreciate its intent. It's the root, the origin of the philosophical meaning that was behind it. It was the early 70s, and a pastor was traveling with his family and was involved in a car accident. Didn't have health insurance, didn't have any way to pay for medical needs. That particular congregation, that particular church said, "Hey, let's pass the hat and help our pastor and his family with their medical bills in their hour of need. They don't have the money to pay these, and they don't have health insurance." So that's really how healthcare sharing began, and really a very cool thing, right? And since the dawn of time, right, hasn't mankind been helping fellow mankind in so many different ways? And that is the root of healthcare sharing. It's where an organized group of people come together, believe in in certain ethics, and try to practice a healthy lifestyle, and then come together. And when there's a medical need in that community, they all contribute and get it paid. So I love how healthcare sharing began. Certainly in those early 70s, and then it got a little more formalized with other good Christian-based organizations. And then, of course, what really prompted healthcare sharing to its modern day growth was the Affordable Care Act, was that individual mandate tax penalty. And now people are just seeing to learning about it because, more than ever, right? They are looking for an alternative to the high cost of health insurance. Health insurance continues to go up. We're in the last 2 years, on average, have seen double-digit premium price increases. That historically hasn't happened for over a half dozen years, right? And so, as Melissa pointed out, right, her and Jeff were healthy people. Went to the annual wellness, but man, thought this is a lot to pay for the just in case. And so now there's a credible alternative for those moments in a community that's rooted in a not-for-profit motives, right? One of the reasons why we're so affordable, up to 50% less, quite frankly, than traditional health insurance, and in some cases more. But we want to temper expectations and just say, confidently, we're up to 50% less. And at the end of this, Jeff Street, Melissa's other half, I'm not going to say better half, other half, right? We'll be talking a little bit more and giving you a sense of pricing. Um, it's really impressive when you see what a not-for-profit approach can do in healthcare when you manage reduce costs and invest in a healthcare option that promotes and motivates and incentivizes you being well. And we'll get into some of that as well. But so we sit, so that's the past, right? thankful for how that came to be and the Affordable Care Act, and then here we are today. We're actually, as a country, our United States government is shut down basically over the cost of healthcare. You have the single largest issue right now, and it's not about, well, how do we fix it? It's about what type of subsidies, entitlements can we give people, because these costs are keep exploding and going up. And so unfortunately, the debate isn't around how do we fix the problem, like ushering alternative solutions to health insurance, like healthcare sharing, a not-for-profit community-based approach. Those kind of discussions are few and far in between. What's going on is, how do we help people pay for or offset to some degree the rising costs of premiums? And that's where the country is at the moment. What's going to happen? I don't know. But I know this: premiums are going to continue to rise, and some may be given additional subsidies to offset it. Some of those won't. Who's going to be who's what entitlements are going to be given to who? We don't know as we sit here today. So presently, we know this: it's a crisis. I mean, when you have the largest government in the world shut down over this one issue, mostly it's an issue, right? It's a serious issue. And again, they're not discussing on how to fix the problem. They're just trying to figure out how much more money we can give to some people to help them offset these increasing costs. So I think it's the wrong kind of discussion going on, but it is what it is. I have no intention of running for office. We've got our site on continue to grow, promote, and talk about the good things that are going on with Impact Health Sharing. Our community, since we launched in January 2020, has been growing steadily. Nearly 20,000 overall members. And we continue to serve them in their hour of need. Here's the thing that Impact can say that I don't think I know no other health insurance company could say, and I'm not aware of any other, health sharing organization that can make this statement. Since we launched in January 2020, right during COVID, right in the beginning of COVID, we have never, ever had a universal price increase in our monthly share amount. Unheard of. Unheard of. We have never had a universal across the board price increase since we launched in January 2020. Proud of that. We've been able to maintain costs. We've been able to, while investing too in the health of our individual and our members. So just something that we're excited about. We continue to take pride in, and people ask me, well, when will you increase prices? When we have to. That's the beauty of a not-for-profit. I don't have shareholders that demand as much shareholder value and profits, right? None of those capitalistic tugs are going on, and I'm not anti-capitalistic for any at all. But I will make an argument that healthcare, when architected, engineered, and practiced as a not-for-profit approach, delivers really good results. And and I appreciate the not-for-profit aspect. I don't have shareholders, any of those conversations going on saying, hey, your number one responsibility as a CEO is to maximize shareholder value. Not here at Impact Health Sharing. Hell no, it isn't. It's to invest and protect our membership, and look for ways to continue to partner with them, right? To bring down costs, to partner with them earlier in their health journey, right? To make sure outcomes are best contained. And so we look for ways to do that. Again, as a healthcare sharing organization, good growth rates that are going on, nearly 20,000 in our community and growing. One of the other things that we're really proud about is how quickly we pay medical bills to, we're architected, like other good healthcare sharing organizations that serve their member, right? You have to meet what mostly as a deductible. Typically, it's individually. With us, it's a household. So there's an incredible advantage and cost savings there. You meet that, and then whatever is eligible beyond that, the community contributes. We do this in a really transparent, efficient manner. On our website, we have the guidelines. So you, as a member and potential member, quite frankly, have the ability to find out what is going to be eligible for the community to share in their medical expense. We want a member to know up front exactly what they're getting into. And so we've created processes, we've created AI tools, we've created, uh, requirements for you to check that you understand and read the guidelines because we want you to be aware. We are not insurance. We are an alternative to the high cost of insurance. Okay. We act as a community that's really contributing, paying each other's medical bills in their hour of need. But we're doing this in a very, very efficient manner. Our team right now is about 10 to 12 business days. So when we get a bill, right, on behalf of you, that gets repriced to fair market value prices. And then, and by the way, that provider accepts those repriced fair market value prices 98.5% of the time. Okay. So it's very efficient, very expected for them. Again, nearly 10 out of 10, we're paying them at the prices they want. And so, but we're doing it in about 10 to 12 business days. And so imagine a provider who's getting paid at fair market value prices quickly, right? I don't think, I know we lead the industry in healthcare sharing, and I'm not aware of any insurance company that's paying providers, within 30 business days of getting the bill, right? And so we're proud of that. We do that because we mostly want you as a member to be seen as a good paying customer, right? To and honor that relationship that you have with your provider, with your doctor, with your facility. And so we don't want to disrupt that. We want to promote that. We want to invest in that, and that's why we do it. What's happened because of it is we're building a nationwide reputation for paying quickly at fair market value prices. So facilities that used to say, no thank you on healthcare sharing because other good healthcare sharing organizations don't necessarily operate like us, right? You're a cash pay patient where you have to pay and then get reimbursed at a later date and manage all that process. We work more with a payer ID. You give them a card, they send us the bill. It's mostly seamless, right? And that's where we want it to be. So we're really proud of how we sit. Organizations, large groups like Tenet Health Systems has said, "Hey, Impact, we love what you do. We love how quickly you pay us and at fair market value prices. We want to make sure you're in all of our facilities from West Coast to East Coast." And they've been taking us there. So this has been working. This is building the reputation that we had hoped while honoring the member provider relationship, the doctor provider patient relationship in a a good responsibility fiscally, right? And so and quite frankly, we have the money on hand to do it. So why not? Again, I don't have those capitalistic tugs saying do this with your money, do these other things to invest over here. Here's the beauty of our system. We were the very first healthcare sharing organization when we launched in January 2020 to launch with a technology platform that allowed for never before seen transparency. You got to see in real time how all the monies are moving in our organization, how much is on hand to pay bills, how quickly those bills are being paid, what's in reserve. So if bigger bills come in that are unexpected, can we absorb those and still pay that. All that had never been done prior to impact health sharing. So you got to see all of that. And still today in a community dashboard, there are no ways for this organization to hide, to hide behind any of the numbers because it's all available for view. And so we're really proud of that to lead the industry basically as a younger organization to have this never before seen level of fiscal transparency. And so really proud of that. And that's been meaningful. That allows you also to see what percentages are going to admin, and mostly what it does too. It takes away any of the threats from an unethical executive team that would simply want to reach in and maybe grab those member money that are in member-owned accounts. Okay, they're not in a general pool. They're in member-owned accounts. Part of the technology platform, as the organization, cannot touch that money. The only time we get to move it is you give us permission to pay the administration costs and the program fees, which is our third-party vendors. Other than that, the medical reserving dollars, which is the majority of your monthly share amount, stay in your member-owned account, and there's no way for me to go in and grab that money. That just is another layer of protection that we have that provides the uniqueness in the impact way through this third-party technology platform that positions us uniquely and wonderfully, quite frankly, in the industry. So we're proud of that in what we do and how we sit. And so we've got a great story to tell. We're just looking for more partners, right, to tell it. You know, the uh, the need for alternative options to the high cost of insurance is never been greater in this country, right? We see a government shut down over it. You see premium increases that are coming regardless of what subsidies maybe offset these costs, but they're coming regardless. And that's only going to increase. And so people more than ever, right, are going to be open for alternative ways to bring down the high cost of health insurance. And we have a wonderful story that no one else can tell, right? That we've never had across the board premium monthly share increases in the history of our organization, that we give a level of transparency that never had been delivered prior to impact health sharing for our industry. We're not for profit. We're rooted in a love thy neighbor approach. So we welcome all races, religions, colors, creeds, because we believe as a Christian organization, Jesus commanded us to what? Love thy neighbor. Well, what does thy neighbor look like? They look all different. And so why not welcome them right into our community and help them in their hour of need, uh, and in a very transparent way to be able to serve them. And so when you get people's attention, certainly with up to 50% reduction in their healthcare costs, but where healthcare becomes more personal. Is when you and through we have this in our and on our platform, right, where you can where you're matched with people that you're actually helping, and you can remain anonymous if you don't want the street household named, right? You can remain anonymous, but when nothing more powerful when you get a thank you from another individual that said, "Hey, thank you for sending me money," and this is all done through the magic of technology, so you don't have to be involved in that. Thank you for contributing to our family's medical needs. It's just so meaningful, right? And so you get that kind of community that's building upon a great community because we're all like-minded. We're all in the fairly healthy to healthy category because that's primarily who we serve. And there's a lot of people like the streets that were in that fairly healthy to healthy category who are overpaying for something that they just rarely use or never use, right? And so this is such an alternative, is such a need, right? Here's the cool thing: we can not only we can not only help individuals, we can help families, we can help seniors with a supplemental program that's once you have Medicare A and B, and then we can help groups, whether you're an employer that has 49 or less, or church organizations that are contributing to some or all of your staff's healthcare costs. Any of that, we can serve all you. And for comprehensive healthcare, okay, prices on an individual start at $78 a month and about $375 a month for a family. Just phenomenal. Again, it's comprehensive in that regard. So that's how we sit today. We're looking for more partners to help the great story because the need is so great and about to be even greater in this country when these premium prices are getting members or individuals, families, businesses are getting those right now over the next couple months. It is the highest season of people shopping for healthcare, and so you could, in their hour of need, really be a hero in their hometown, in your hometown, serving them with an alternative to the high cost of health insurance. So let's talk real quick about the future, and then I want to turn it over to Jeff, who will take it away from there. But the future, here's where we're going. Here's what we've done. We again never have had a universal across the board price increase, haven't had to. But what we have done is we've added value to the membership, perks we call them, right? We've added vision and dental at no additional cost. You'll see good healthcare sharing organizations and others that charge 15, 20, 25, sometimes $30 for the same product per month. For us, it's included in your membership. Why? Because we could afford to, right? Why wouldn't we add value to our members? The annual wellness visit you get right from day one, including a $150 credit for blood work. That's not subject to the PRA. That's a member perk you can use right away. And so what we've done over these last several years as we've grown and could afford to is just look for more ways where we can add more value to our members because again, as a not-for-profit approach, that allows us and gives us the freedom while being fiscally responsible. Okay, we're not for loss either, but at the end of the day, if we can afford to do it and it's your money, why not invest in you? And so we think there's no greater investment than that. And so some of the things that we've done recently is a concierge service. So you become a brand new member. You make your annual wellness visit. You inform us there's a way to do that. And we call them and arrange payment. They either will bill us or if they, for whatever reason, if they're squirrely about healthcare sharing or won't give us an opportunity to pay them quickly, then we say, okay, no problem. How much is the visit going to be? They tell us the number, and then we pay them right before the visit occurs. So I don't know anyone in healthcare that's paying prior to a service being rendered, right? And so that's some of the stuff that we're doing because we are member centric that way. So we're excited about, and that's just about a month old. So it's our concierge service that will only expand further. We have some other concierge additional type experiences that we're going to be adding on to that. We're excited about that. We're looking currently at home test kits and devices through a welcome kit that you would get as a brand new member because we want to meet you where you want your health journey to begin. Some want to go to the doctor, others who just simply say, "Hey, I want to have some blood work. I want to see where my markers are. I want to be able to talk to somebody about that. And if care is needed, then I'll go. But if I can avoid those long wait times and long scheduling times with a provider, then I will." And so we want to meet our member where we are. So we're looking at home test kits with wearables so you can track and control, right? Be in control more of your health journey. And so we're in some really fun conversations right now on what that's going to look like. And then And then two brand new offerings are going to happen maybe this week or certainly as early or next week. Within next week or two, right? The month of October, two new perks that you're going to have. One is, we hear a lot of talk about prescription drug prices and bringing that down, selling it direct to consumer. Well, how about this for generics? How about if your prescription drugs cost $10 or less? They are now going to be free with Impact Health Sharing. You will have no cost at $10 or less on a generic prescription. So really, really excited to bring that out. And that's quite frankly, today, that's about 63% of our population who are going to pick up, a nice savings when you analyze it. So excited about that. And then we have a new partnership with a telehealth company. One of their new benefits that I'm really excited about too, actually. Not only are they gonna, you can make schedule time. You can see them through the telehealth process. They can diagnose either with send a prescription in. You can do that from the comfort of your own home, right? That service exists today in many organizations. The key there is we just need a good job to fulfill it, right? To meet really good member expectations. So, but we're doing that with reduced lead times with this new vendor. But they have two new things. One is what's called Life Vitals, just with the technology that puts some points on your face, and you're going to be able to do this in the member center in the coming month or two. That's a phase two. It'll give you readings up to 90% accuracy on what's going on with your body. So you're going to have data, right? Your own personal health data on what that looks like. And then you navigate on what you're going to do about it. So really excited about that feature because it's just, again, empowering you more with your own personal health information. And then what I like about this new partner is we're expanding our mental health benefits. So for per month, you could have three different topics for up to, I think it's 50 minutes, 55-minute visit. Again, three different topics per month for no additional cost. So you won't be having to pay those fees. Now, if you decide to continue with that same therapy, it's a really reduced rate. So it's incredibly inexpensive when you look at fair market values to go beyond those three individual consultations, sessions per month. So really excited to serve people more. Mental health is only an increased category of need, and so for us to be able to offer something like this, I think is going to be extremely meaningful. And so excited about these couple enhancements to Impact, again, at no additional cost to the member, that are literally going to launch. We're just finishing up testing this week or next. And so very, very excited to partner with that. And so there's some other things coming up, Jeff, that we'll get into at a later date, but I want to turn it to you because at the end of the day, right, people stay for the community but what gets their attention certainly is the cost. And so let me just say on a different subject, congratulations to your entrepreneurial journey. I know today's kind of a meaningful milestone to you. We won't get into that, but people need to hear your story in what you've done to help and serve people in the over dozen years that you've been involved in this entrepreneurial journey. So we're certainly glad you are. You have the servant-minded leadership skills to help people. This product, I think, is perfectly built for your DNA, Melissa's DNA, to help and partner with people in the hour of need. And the hour of need is the biggest it's ever been as we approach this open enrollment season and beyond. So thanks for allowing me to spend some time with you. And we got some great things, as you can tell. Great things going on today, great things coming, and then some even better things right around the corner that we'll get into at a later date. But Jeff, over to you, my friend. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Chrysler, thank you so much for being on our call here today. If we could, guys, give a huge virtual round of applause for Mr. Phil Chrysler, CEO of
Thank you.
Impact Health Sharing. I don't know about you, but I don't know of a lot of other healthcare company CEOs that are donating their time today to get on a webinar to share about where they came from, where they are, and where they're going, especially hearing Phil's heart today. When Phil talked about being member-centric, how many can feel his passion for what it is that he's doing? Talking about no capitalistic tugs, impact doesn't benefit, but like a health insurance company would if they were to deny a claim. Impact has never denied a claim. There's just a very transparent member guidelines that Phil and his team have put together of what's shareable by the community and what's not shareable by the community. So we're just so grateful to be on this crusade with you, Phil. And Phil had mentioned about entrepreneurship. For those of you that are wondering, is there a business opportunity here as well? The answer is yes. And you can learn more about being a referral partner if you want to learn more about how you can earn residual income by spreading the good word of impact, of how you can help individuals, families, and small businesses. Let the person that invited you on the call know when we wrap up here that you want to learn more about the business opportunity as well. Also, speaking of the business opportunity, for those of you that happen to be anywhere in the Texas area, Phil, we're so grateful. He actually has his vice president of operations, Mrs. Eileen Ryan, actually coming to Dallas, Texas. We're doing a very special event in Richardson, Texas on October 25th, which is a Saturday, where she's going to be doing a training for all of our referral partners here in Dallas, Texas. And then our company, the marketing partner we partner with, is doing a major convention on November 8th in Columbus, Ohio, where Phil and his team are going to be there really educating us on everything that's happening with open enrollment. So I would jot those dates down. If you're somebody either is a referral partner or wants to learn more about being a referral partner, those are going to be some very, very meaningful days for us. And, Phil talked about costs going up, and it's different in every state. But where Melissa and I live in Texas, what was approved here was a 31% increase on average on healthcare costs. Now, how many agree healthcare costs have already been a major problem for a lot of people? Now, this isn't even going into the subsidies. Will they be continued? Will they not? We don't know that yet. But we do know here in Texas, and I know different states are different. I think Florida, is at 40% approximately, Phil?
Mhm.
Tennessee, 37%. I mean, some of these increases are incredibly significant, and open enrollment starts to kick in for America on November 1st. So there's going to be more and more people like you and I just looking for an alternative solution. Now, where all this made sense to me of why this worked was with what Phil said today, 5% of the population equates to 50% of the healthcare spend in our country. So what that indirectly means is that the other 95% of the population equates to the other 50%. Now, I was in that category. Maybe some of you are, maybe many of you are as well. And so what I realized there is most people are healthy or fairly healthy and having to significantly overpay for their healthcare costs because they have to compensate for people that are not healthy. Now, as Phil mentioned, impact is not going to be the right fit for everybody. Our target market is people that are healthy or fairly healthy. And I just want to go through a few slides and show you how simple it is to give somebody a quote. And I want to show you the transparency of that member center that Phil talked about that's industry leading, best in class, multiple patents. You could just feel, Phil's heart of how excited he was talking about our platform. And I want to show you guys what that looks like. So first off, here's just a couple of my favorite bullet points with impact. Again, as Phil mentioned, impact is not insurance. We believe it's something better. No provider restrictions. Our members can go to any doctor they want anywhere in the country without ever having to pay an out-of-network penalty fee. Comprehensive health care, as Phil mentioned, everything from coughs to car accidents to cancer. No utilization reviews. What does that mean? Phil and his team allow our providers, the doctors, to treat their patients based on their medical expertise, not based on the guidelines of an insurance company. Year-round enrollment. Somebody can become an impact member anytime. So even though open enrollment is coming up and a lot of people are making that choice about healthcare, somebody can be an impact member at any time, and their membership begins the first day of the next calendar month. Complimentary 24/7 telemedicine. As Phil mentioned, a free annual wellness visit. Ladies, you can use that for your ladies visit as well. $150 blood work credit per member per year as well. A free dental and vision discount card like Phil had talked about. But I love the community-based support. I love the fact that this is a community of people, working together to help each other in their time of needs. And I love the concierge service that Phil talked about. My wife, Melissa, got a chance to actually use that 2 months ago. And what was amazing is she was going to a new doctor and they said to her, oh, well, we don't bill a health sharing company. She said, no problem. Let me have our concierge team reach out to you. She submitted the form for the concierge team. They called her provider and they paid for her visit before she even showed up for her annual wellness visit. At the end of her visit, she went to the billing department. She said, wow, your healthcare company paid before you even walked in. We've never seen this before. And Melissa said, well, you need to look at becoming a preferred provider with impact, but just amazing. But I want to spend a minute also talking about our health and wellness rewards program. See, not only is Impact looking for healthy membership, they're rewarding people for being healthy. So any family that's spending at least $150 a month on their health, whether that's gym memberships, whether that's vitamins, naturopathic service, naturopathic medicines, fitness classes, massage therapy, acupuncture, IV drip therapy, cryotherapy, DPC membership, and so on. If that's you and your family, Impact gives us $150 credit every month to offset our family deductible, our PRA. It's like buying down your deductible. They're rewarding us for living a healthy lifestyle. Now, Impact is for individuals, families, entrepreneurs, people that are self-employed, service industry workers, seniors, as Phil mentioned. There's a big crisis happening right now with, Medicare supplements as well, costs going up there. If somebody's 65 years old, just to give you an example, as long as they have Medicare Part A and Part B, Impact is $96 a month for that senior with a $1,000 PRA, which is like a deductible. And anything that Medicare A and B does not cover for that senior, Impact kicks in the additional piece, which is usually about 20%. Small businesses, 49 employees and less. More and more businesses right now are having to figure out, can I continue to offer healthcare for my employees because the cost is so high? And listen, as the cost goes up, how much there's employers out there that are going to have to make a tough decision because their cost has gone up for everything else as well. I want to offer benefits to my employees, but can I still afford to be able to offer something, or do I have to cut back on what my contribution is? So what a great opportunity for small businesses. Now, Phil talked about the guidelines. We talked about how our target market is healthy or fairly healthy people. So what is a pre-existing condition when it comes to Impact's terms? Pre-existing medical condition is something where there's been sign, symptom, treatment, diagnosis, or testing within the last 36 months. So anybody can become an Impact member regardless of pre-existing conditions, but those pre-existing conditions are not shareable for the community until somebody's signed symptom, treatment, diagnosis, and testing free for 36 months. So if you're somebody that you had a stroke last year or a heart attack or major chronic illnesses, Impact is probably not the right fit for you. If you're somebody that might have small things, use discernment to determine if Impact's going to be the right fit for you. One exception to this is high blood pressure and high cholesterol, which we all know is pretty common. As long as somebody has their high blood pressure or high cholesterol under control, then Impact will not count that against somebody for determining any future cardiac or vascular events. Now, Phil mentioned the Impact card. This is what the card looks like. It's architected and designed, as Mr. Chrysler said, to look and feel like traditional insurance. So previously in healthcare sharing, I was with somebody this morning, Tina Bryant, she's on the call with us. She's been with health sharing for years. And she said, my previous company, I would always have to go to the doctor and just pay the bill as a cash pay discount, then submit it and wait to get reimbursed. And sometimes that took a long time. The way Impact is architected and designed to work is we have what's called an EDI payer ID number. So that means Impact invested the money to be in all the clearinghouses in the country. So when you go to your doctor, you just use your Impact card. They put your payer ID number into their billing system. They bill Impact electronically, just like they would for an insurance company. And as Phil mentioned, right now they're processing and paying medical bills in under 12 days' time. So not only is Impact very member-centric, they're extremely provider-friendly. Your providers are getting paid faster in most cases than they would with an insurance company. So that's how Impact is architected and designed to work. Now, sometimes you may go to a provider, and I just want to be very transparent with everybody, and the provider might say, oh, this is healthcare sharing. You have to pay up front as a cash pay discount. We call that provider pushback. And so here's what's important for you and I to know. Impact works a little bit different than most health sharing companies. So if you have a provider say, look, I know that's how it normally works, but with our company, it's different. Here's my payer ID number on the back of the card. You can just put that in your billing system and add us, and you can bill us directly just like you would an insurance company. If for any reason at that point they still give you pushback, there's a phone number they can call to speak to somebody at Impact. And if for any reason they still won't pay bill Impact, worst case scenario, you can be treated like a normal healthcare sharing member, where you can just pay as that cash pay discount, and you can submit that medical bill to Impact. If you've already hit your primary responsibility, which is like a combined family deductible, they will reimburse you, the member, as fast as they're paying their providers. And if you haven't already met that primary responsibility amount, then Impact will actually just take what you paid and subtract it from your primary responsibility amount. Now, if you see on the left-hand front corner of the card, these are our provider fees, which is similar to a copay. So all of our members, again, get unlimited free telemedicine 24/7. I also love that Impact gives all their members 50 outpatient therapy visits per year. What does that mean? Chiropractic adjustments, physical therapy, respiratory therapy, occupational therapy. My wife and I get multiple chiropractic adjustments per month. You can see if you go to your office visit for your PCP, after you've got your free annual wellness visits, $50, specialist, $75, ER and inpatient, $150, and so on. But let me just show you how simple it is to give somebody a quote and to get a quote with Impact. And I just want to take a minute, kind of break down a quote for you. So all we need to give somebody a quote is the date of birth of the oldest person in the family. So let's say it's March 30th, 1989, and it's a family of 3+. We put get quote, and it's going to generate a quote, for that family. Now, what's great is every time that we generate a quote for somebody, there's going to be just 4 options. And all the options, everything is the same in each quote, other than the primary responsibility amount somebody chooses and the standard rate that somebody pays per month. Again, standard rate is like a premium, and a primary responsibility is like a combined family deductible. So none of the plans are different. It's not insurance. It's not confusing like insurance. You just got 4 options where everything that's available in the guidelines is the same for every plan, other than the primary responsibility amount you choose and the standard rate that you pay. So the lower your primary responsibility amount, the higher your standard rate's going to be. The higher your primary responsibility amount, the lower your standard rate's going to be. Melissa and I have a $2,500 PRA, which we were very excited about because our combined family deductible with Blue Cross was $15,000. With Impact, we have a $2,500 primary responsibility amount. So for this family, they would pay $576 a month. Once they met that primary responsibility amount, they now go into what's called co-sharing. Insurance, they call it co-insurance. Sometimes insurance, it's like an 80-20 split or a 70-30 split. With Impact, it's 90-10. So here's what that means. Once you've met your primary responsibility amount, the Impact community will share into 90% of your eligible medical bills. You're only responsible for 10%. And the most a family could ever pay per year in co-sharing is $5,000 a year per family. So think of that like a max out-of-pocket expense, your primary responsibility amount plus that $5,000 co-share. Now, I'm just going through this quickly, but understand once you get a quote for yourself, if you have questions, there's an AI chat bot right here on the website. You can click on the chat bot and you can ask it any questions that you want. The chat bot, it's phenomenal. We call it Ellie. It's amazing. Ellie's got all the information. Ellie's great. Now, also, if you still want to talk to somebody, you can just submit yourself in as a lead in your referral partner's website. Just put name, email address, phone number, click on request info. Impact will send you a text message and an email with a calendar invite, and you can schedule a time to talk to an Impact consultant that'll get your questions answered, and you can determine if Impact is the right fit for you. Now, we heard Phil talk a lot about the Member Center. This is something that I was so blown away by when I saw it because it showed me the heart of impact and it really helped me understand the transparency. Now, when I had health insurance, I would pay my large premium every month and I never knew where the money went. I love how with impact, I can see how every dollar moves. So every one of our members, our close to 19,000 members, have a dashboard just like this. We call this decentralized reserves. So this is mine and Melissa's personal member account. So you can see right now we have $2,100 just sitting in our account. I can see what families I've recently helped. The Goldscheider household, $236 went from our account into a medical bill for them. Their Pertuis household, $49.50, and so on. I love that. I can send them a prayer request, I can remain anonymous, or I can send them a get well note. But I love it. These are real families that we're helping, and we know what we're contributing every month is actually going towards helping these families. But as Phil mentioned, you can see where every dollar moves. I can see what goes towards program fees, what goes towards administrative fees, what goes towards admin fees. I can see it all. I can even see what's happening in the community as a whole. I can see how many members does Impact currently have? How much do they have in financial reserves? They just put the books out there for all of us. How many medical bills have they paid over the last 12 months? Right now, you can see there's over $14 million in financial reserves. Now, if you take a look down here, it'll show you that over the last 12 months, they've shared in a 76,070 medical bills. Phil, thank you so much. They've shared into $14 million in medical bills over the last 12 months. Now, the goal of a healthy health sharing company is to have 3 to 4 months of financial reserves. You can see with Impact, they have more money in financial reserves than they've actually spent in medical bills over the last 12 months. That's so abnormal in this space. And because they've stewarded the money so well, that's what's allowed them to be so member-centric to give us all these additional member rewards programs like the dental vision, like the, all this new mental health program that Phil was just talking about. But I want to just go back to those $150 wellness credits, because again, they are rewarding people for living a healthy lifestyle. Check this out. So this is mine and Melissa's personal account. We have a $2,500 primary responsibility amount. Our plan renewed July 1st of this year. We've had no medical bills this year. Melissa and I have, gone and got our free annual wellness visit, but we've had no medical bills at all this year. So just from submitting our $150 credits and from our chiropractic adjustments that we've been using, check this out. We've already used $481 of our primary responsibility amount, even in the last 3 months, not even, because we haven't updated for October yet, that even though we've had no medical bills. So think about it. Our PRA or our deductible has already had a 20% deduction over the last 3 months, just as a reward for living a healthy lifestyle. Now, unfortunately, for the first time in my life, I have to get a colonoscopy later on this year. We're going to be able to literally, between our chiropractic adjustments and those $150 credits, we're going to be able to zero out our PRA and literally have no more primary responsibility amount when I have that appointment. So I'm just so passionate about Impact and everything that they're doing. The last thing I just want to take a minute and share with you guys is we have a Facebook group in this community. So we went through a lot of information today. This recording will be posted on our Facebook group. And here is the link where you can join the Facebook group. This is the QR code there. This is a great group of people. Some of Mr. Chrysler's employees are actually members of the Facebook group, and they answer different questions. There's some amazing testimonials and stories in here. It's absolutely amazing what's happening in this Facebook group, and anybody can become a member, and there's a lot of information that's there. So if you scan that QR code, you can join our Facebook group. And I'm just so passionate to be on this crusade to disrupt what we really believe for so many people is a very broken health insurance system. We know what's happening, what's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks. And we're just standing there with people to be able to help people in their time of need. And look, expenses have just gone up for everybody. Healthcare now having their highest health insurance premium increase in the history of healthcare. This year, if there's a problem and you have a solution, you're a blessing for other people. But on the business side, if there's a problem and you have a solution, that's called opportunity. So remember, for those of you that want to learn more about being a referral partner and on the business opportunity side, make sure you get back to the person that invited you on the call to let them know you want to learn more about earning residual income by being a referral partner. For those of you like, hey, I want to become an Impact member, I want Impact to be my healthcare provider, and I want a November 1st start date. You just have to have your application filled out in full by the October 31st at 5 o'clock Eastern time. As long as you complete that form in full, there's a $79 one-time application fee per family. So as long as you pay that $79 and complete that application by the 31st at 4:59 p.m. Eastern time, you will be an Impact member as of November 1st. Mr. Chrysler, we're so grateful for your time on today's call. Any last words for the community here today?
Well, great job, Jeff. Giving everyone an insight on how we're architected, how we're built, and so just proud to partner with you guys. As Jeff said, and I said earlier, the hour is upon us where the need is overwhelming to serve people. Majority of this country is in that fairly healthy to healthy category. They just don't know a company like us exists, and so. We very much believe in the word of mouth, friend helping friend, neighbor helping neighbor. Educate about, hey, this may be for you, something you should check out. And so I would encourage everyone. We have the solution. We have the track record now, right, to really put forth this credible alternative that's so meaningful to 20,000 lives and counting. Be a part and a partner on this journey with us to serve America in its hour of greatest need. So thank you so much for what you guys do, and thank you for allowing me to be with you. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you for being on here. God bless everybody. Have an amazing day, and we'll have this posted in the Facebook group. God bless.